Well, hello again. I want to talk to you today about trying something different. Now, it's clear that many writers make a good income from writing pretty much the same thing over and over again, and you know I'm talking about someone. But today I want to discuss whether it's a good idea to try something different, go off in a different direction. Now, I'm a contemporary women's fiction writer, so you know that I'm interested in things that are going on today in society. I spoke about that last time, but now I'd like to try to interest you in an entirely different angle. It was suggested to me that I might like to try writing cozy cat mysteries. Now, the cat part was not a problem. Cats have been in my life for a long time. But cozy mysteries were pretty much a mystery to me, I can tell you. I don't generally read that kind of thing. Cozy means kind of Agatha Christie or some little village with a lady who's about 90 walking about solving nah, not me. But I was suggested this idea by a good friend, and I thought, well, I can only give it a try and see what happens. So I set out to write a cat mystery. Now, the first one was called Justine and the Psychic Connections. So right away, I was making an announcement that there may be a little bit of mystery here, but there's going to be a good bit of psychic as well as the cat stuff. I have a very handsome Siamese cat, so that was a kind of an obvious starting point. And off we went on an adventure, which I wrote in the first person. Now, the first person is really neat to write if you can do it. It's very immediate. You get a real sense of it's happening now. So I went in for a bit of drama, a bit of psychology. My main character, Justine, is an empath, you would say. She instantly gets connections to people and even more so to animals. In fact, she finds that people are a bit of a problem, but she gets on really well with animals. In fact, wherever she goes, a cat will generally find her. And that happens in the first story. So I enjoyed doing this. It wasn't a hugely long book like some that I've written. I kept it moving fast in fairly short chapters, and I got to the end and I was quite happy with it. But one book doesn't tell a tale, so I had to think of a second title. So using the same theme, the same main character, up comes Justine, again the main character, and the Cackling Catastrophe. Now, a cackling is a name for a very small cat. And in this story, Justine unfortunately comes across cats that have been, as kittens, put into a river to drown. And she's very upset by this. She manages to save one of these little kittens that had escaped from the bag they were in. And she thinks it's dead, but she can't help but take it with her. She takes it home, she lays it close to her heart, and the warmth of her heart brings this little kitten to life. And so begins a connection between Justine and a cat that is the cat of her heart in more ways than one, and one that she can never leave behind like she did with the first Siamese and like other cats she had met throughout the world. She was able to leave them behind. But this little one, soon to be called Katrine, is not going to be left behind. So this changes the perspective of the story. And in this story, we find out a lot about Justine, that she has always had this kind of secret service or government service background that nobody really knows about. So we get an insight into that too. So 2 down. Hey, this is fun. This is quite good. I thought I would go ahead and do a third one. Now, the third one is finished now, but I haven't got the cover to show you yet. It's called Justine and the Midnight Catechism. That should give you a few ideas. Midnight, because this cat is a jet black cat. I have a very black cat. Don't you like the look in the eyes of this cat? A picture like this gives me ideas that I can put into the book. So the third book, which, by the way, the main incident takes place at Halloween, so again, the midnight and the catechism come into play. The third book is now finished. And lo and behold, the first book and the second book are beginning to sell quite well. Now, somebody likes them, so why shouldn't I go on with this? I've been told to go ahead, so I started the fourth one. The fourth book, still very beginning, is called Justine and the Curious Catacomb. And by the time we get to this fourth book, our Justine is in a different position altogether. In fact, unexpectedly, she acquires a house. Now, this is a Rolling Stone person who has gathered no moss thus far except for Katrine the kitten. And this is a real change in her life. So many things have to come together to effect that change. Many stories from the past and many stories that look toward the future come together. In this fourth book, we meet a beautiful red tabby or orange tabby called Tabitha. And this cat comes with the new house. Now, Justine's going to have a lot of problems in this situation. She has two cats that are pretty good with each other, but a third cat, the cat of the actual house she's going to move them all into, well, that is just looking for trouble, I think. And there's also this business of the curious catacomb. How does that fit in? Well, this is the fun part, figuring out how you can get all of this into an interesting story that isn't too long, that moves along quickly, and it looks like people like it. Hey, what's wrong with that? I'm enjoying it. I hope you will too.